Hello and welcome to Thursday. I just finished filling this out and I'm very, very excited about it. What is it? Well, it's an envelope. But written on the outside of the envelope it says Department of the Treasury Internal Revenue Service Center, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45999. What this is a document which turns our LLC into a corporation, or at least tells the government to tax it as a corporation. By the way, since I haven't mentioned it up to this point, we became an LLC, or as of soon, we became a corporation, which is really neat. It also sounds really weird, because when it comes right down to it, I put videos on the internet. I shoot my dinner and my cat's pooping, and I play Mario, and then I put it on the internet. But with what we do, it actually makes sense from like a tax standpoint, and also from a standpoint of safety, which I'll explain in a minute, to move forward with having an LLC and a corporation. And it's something I've honestly needed to do for years. My accountant has told me for years to do this, and it wasn't until this year, when Mal started Mal Makes, that I was finally like, okay, this is going to get real complicated real fast. We should probably form an LLC. So I finally did it, and soon, once we get, a confirmation back from the IRS, we will be a corporation, which is really, really neat. So why is it that you do that? Well, you form an LLC or a corporation or whatever, generally for tax purposes, and it's going to make, for one, taxes way, way easier on us. Not only will we have a benefit, like there will be some like tax break stuff, which will be awesome, but also it'll just be easier to figure out, because now that we have a business, we have a corporation, we can get like a checking account for the corporation. So there won't be any more, oh, it's tax time and I have to sit down with like a million receipts and tear my hair out type thing. That will go away. Now it'll just be like, are we buying something for the business? Yes. Then we'll use the business credit card. Done. And then everything's just on that account. So at the end of the year, it's just, we look at that and it's done. It's pretty fantastic. I'm really looking forward to saving that headache every year. In addition to some of the tax benefits and things like that, there's also, it's in the name, limited liability corporation or company or whatever, limited liability, which means that if someone decides to, God forbid, sue us in some way, it would be tied to the business. It'd be tied to whatever the business made. It would not be tied to us personally, which means that they can't come after our home or whatever, because that can happen. Since before we had this, if someone wanted to, they could sue us, and then they could say, well, you can't pay, so now we're going to take your car, or we're going to take your stuff, or we're going to take your cats, that kind of thing. So that helps as well. That's one of the things. It's a kind of a safety net for that. So all of that is great, and this is something that we've been working on for the past few months. And the LLC has actually existed for probably 2 or 3 months at this point. But we've been trying to get all the paperwork and stuff together and meet with our accountant, who has been also very busy, to form the corporation. And now we're finally doing it. And it is very exciting. Now, what does this mean for you guys? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What does it mean for us? Mostly nothing. The only thing that really changes on our end is, like I said, we'll probably be opening a checking account just for the channels. And really all it'll come down to is like, oh, we're buying a microphone, we'll use the business credit card. Oh, we're buying a computer, we'll use the business credit card. That kind of thing. Oh, we're taking a trip to PAX, we'll use the business credit card. And then all that stuff, all the expenses that are related to channel, are all together. And it makes my life so much easier come February and March. Now, some of you might be interested in knowing what we went with for a name, because for many years my friends have joked about Stephen Corp. They anytime I would deal with any like business side of YouTube or whatever, they'd say, "Oh, you're dealing with Stephen Corp, and how is Stephen Corp going? You're building up Stephen Corp?" It was a big joke. So of course, when they found out that we actually formed the business, they said, please tell me you called it Stephen Corp. I didn't call it Stephen Corp, and there's a reason. The reason for that is that that's very one-sided. You have to understand, when Stephen Vlog got started, Mal and I weren't together. I mean, we were dating, but we were apart. We were separated by distance, and it was following my life, so Stephen Vlog. Stephen Plays was the same way. Got started a long time ago. Mal and I were not physically together, and at that point I had no plans on her doing content for the channel, so it was just Stephen Plays, because I was playing games. So we kind of kept that same naming convention whenever we went with Mal Makes, since I already had that established. But I didn't want it to be Stephen Corp, because this is not my thing. This is our thing. And Mal Makes is what actually pushed me to do the corporation, because it was getting too much to handle. There was now 3 channels in the mix. We had a lot of stuff to try and keep track of financially for tax purposes. And I was like, this is going to get nuts. We need to finally do this. So I decided to go with George Media LLC. And that is a pretty lame name compared to something like Stephen Corp. And I'm aware of that. But the fact is, that'll be the only time I ever say it on video. It'll be the only time you ever see anything about it. It's just not a name that we plan on using anywhere. It's simply something that exists for the government to say, hey, this is who we are. You know, this is the name that we're going to put on our stuff. And that's it. It's not like, I mean, some people really embrace their LLC name and they like put it on, you know, their videos where they're like, blah, LLC. I mean, and if that's what you want to do, cool, good for you. But I don't. I want to be Stephen Vlog and Stephen Plays and Mal Makes, and that'll be our holy trinity of channels for now and forever. But yeah, I just thought I would mention that because we finally met with our accountant tonight to help fill out the final paperwork for this. Now we just have to wait for a thing back, and then we're good. And then we're going to start moving forward and getting like a separate checking account and all of that for the business. And it's really neat. And I'm mostly excited for it because it is going to make my life so much easier during tax time. I mean, also the tax benefits are good too, but like I really hate every year having to spend like 2 or 3 whole days just working on that, and this will help immensely. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. There's probably not a ton of you, but if some of you have formed LLCs or corporations or whatever, shout them out, I guess. Talk about that experience. I'm going to be honest, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Like, whenever you think of that, it sounds like, oh, it'd be very difficult. You got to go talk to a guy or got to do this or that. And it's really not. To form an LLC, I forget how much it was. It was like $50 maybe. You could just go on to your state's website and you find out information and you fill out a form, you send in a check for like $50 and you come back and it's like, boom, okay, we're a business. That was easy. So it's actually not that difficult. So if there's any other YouTube channels that are, you know, pretty well established and thinking about doing that kind of thing, it's not hard. It's really not. I thought it was going to be harder than it was, and it was pretty easy. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?